Good evening and welcome to the Congo Hour. I am Dina, and with me this evening is Aaron.
Good evening.
And we are your hosts and co-hosts for the Congo Hour this evening, and it's truly a privilege to be here with you. We do have a very exciting show this evening prepared for you. We have two awesome guests, and we also will have the Congo Hour. We will have community news, birthday announcements, and funeral announcements. So how was your weekend, Aaron?
It was pretty good. I just left Cousin Johnny's house with the monks. I had me a couple hot dogs and hamburgers. So I want to say hello to
Food.
Aunt Bert, Aunt Vicky, Nene, of course, Janelle, and the whole Monk family, because hopefully I don't fall asleep during the interview. But yeah,
Okay.
It was pretty good.
Well, that's good.
And yourself?
I pretty much rested this weekend. It was much needed rest. Went to church this morning and received awesome words. So I'm blessed.
Amen.
We are ready to move on.
Yeah. Heard we got some awesome brothers here.
Awesome brothers.
I didn't know that Derrick Reed was going to be here, because I would have had him give me a little shake.
Oh, wait a minute. Derrick D. Reed.
Right. I would have had him, give me a little taper before the show.
Very well.
Would you like to have the honor of introducing our guests?
Yeah, we have two awesome brothers, Derrick D. Reed and Devon Hynson, and they're going to be talking about some of the things that they're doing in their community.
Yeah.
That's right. One of the things originally I had talked to Trippy about it was surrounding the Trayvon Martin case, and there was just a lot of racial kind of dissonance, and I was concerned, because when I really look at our community, there's a small few people who are wreaking havoc pretty much on our community, but in my opinion, the state of the Black America is pretty strong, and sometimes we don't give ourselves the credit, and sometimes we don't get recognition that I think that we should have as a race of people. So I was talking to Derrick, and I was like, and there's some challenges, because Derrick could tell you, especially as being in business, sometimes you get haters and you get the crabs in the basket mentality. And so one of the things I wanted to do is, Derrick, can you talk about what you were doing in terms of your motivational speaking and being a barber, and then we'll start to chop it up from there.
Okay. Well, of course, I grew up in the Riverside Project area, which
area or
in the project. So me and my family grew up in the Riverside Project area, and ended up cutting hair, picking up a trade, went to Howard, graduated from Howard High School, and I just felt like I always wanted better. I didn't have a lot of role models growing up, and like it is, pretty much now. It's just that I had people on what not to do, So I just did the opposite of what, negative things they was doing. Then I started opening up my own business, and I started cutting hair, and I've always been a writer, so I'm also known for writing plays and stuff like that. But like Devon said, it's a struggle, growing up, as far as in these areas, and I kind of look at it like you look at it. It's a few people that kind of make it really bad, and for a lot of people, it's 70,000 people in Delaware, Wilmington, so it's 900,000 in Delaware, but 70,000 in Delaware, and you just got a few that, people that just wreaking havoc,
right.
and for whatever reasons, we got to lay a lot of blame too on parenting too. So I wanted to do something more than just be in the barbershop, because a barber is more than just a barber. We're a counselor, sometimes a lawyer, sometimes, and and sometimes somebody's father or somebody's uncle, and I just felt that I can do more. So I started this motivational speaking, which is called Turn Up for Life. Building our youth. Because I just want to kind of make intelligence popular. I want to make winning popular, because I think we're getting to a point where we're going backwards, and it's starting to be cool to be ignorant, and that has to change. Like you said, he came to me and him always talking up, we busted up, and we bump heads sometimes, but we come to a point where we agree, to disagree on certain stuff, but we always try to get to the core factor that we want to help our people. We want to help our young people, because they're in a state of emergency right now, and it seems like nobody's really trying to help. Nobody's looking. You got a few people. I don't want to just single out like nobody's doing anything, because people are. But we need help. We need help in getting our young people back and making intelligence popular.
At least in the urban communities. And because for me, I'm motivated when I see somebody like Derrick being successful in business. Because I'm going to tell you, I was amazed. We have a nonprofit organization called Education Voices now, and I'm a student advocate for the organization. And we were trying to get some space for our offices, and I met with his brother. That's your twin, right?
That's my twin. We actually
with his
3 months
twin brother.
apart.
And he bought the old probation and parole office.
Wow.
Now understand, these are two brothers that came from Riverside.
Wow.
He has 2 successful daycare businesses, and they just purchased the probation and parole.
Yes.
So
Studio
to me,
505.
I get motivated when I see people doing stuff like that. And he's young. What are you?
Oh, actually, I just turned 40.
Okay.
But I'm going
I'm
backwards,
41.
so you know, what I mean, they said 40 to new 30. I didn't make it up. I didn't make it up. But you know, 40 new 30, so you know.
So I get motivated when I see stuff like that. Like I get excited when he posts something on Facebook. I try to share it with other people so that they can see it. And whenever I can, I try to be as supportive as possible. I even talk to other barbers about his style, like, because I know when I used to get my hair cut by Derrick, like he used to have people like on a dime. If you got your hair cut at 7 o'clock, you was in that chair by 7:05 and you was out by 7:35. Like he just ran it like a business. And that kind of stuff, it makes me feel proud that we do have people in our community that are doing those kind of things. And I think that stuff should be recognized. Now, it doesn't reduce the fact that yes, we have some parents that are bad parents and they really do need to step up. But I don't think that we need to ask other communities for everything. I think that we can dig within and we have our own resources right here to be able to get it done. And I think that him and his brother are living proof. My father, he has a river taxi on the riverfront. I mean, I can go on and on for days. The guy lives across the street from me, Bowden Masonry. So there's a lot of business owners in our community. I just don't think we're as bad as we purport and the media purports us to be sometimes. And sometimes we just take the small things that happen in our community and we make them big because that's the struggle we're in, that's the fight we're in. But that's not the state of our people as a whole. And I refuse to believe that. And sometimes, you know, like when we're on Facebook, our friend Paul, he'll come on and start just talking crazy, man. And it's like, man, he makes me, sometimes the way he talks, it would make you feel like embarrassed to be African American. But when you think about it, I'm proud to be an African American. I think that's the story that needs to be told. So even though things aren't, because you were talking about DC, you might want to add in on that.
Right.
But even though we do recognize that things maybe aren't where they should be,
Yeah.
we are far away from where we used to be. And if we could ever start to work more closely together and support each other, not necessarily because I don't cut hair, so I don't necessarily have a partnership in that venture, but however I see fitting that I can help there, then I got to find a way to be able to do that.
Okay.
Going back to that comment you made, there is a barber that I know. He has a standard. I go there. I take my sons there as well. 5-star. His name is Shaba, and he has a standard. Like you can't come in the barbershop with your pants drooped down. He won't let you sit in the chair, and he don't care what size you are. He'll tell you pull your pants up. And I think it's very significant what you were saying about how the influence that barbers have.
Yes.
You know, think about when we was growing up. Some of the barbers, you know, some of the old school barbers used to talk to us and tell us, you know, you can't do this, you can't do that, can't talk loud, ain't no cussing in the barbershop. I think you have a significant amount of impact on the youth just for the simple fact that they spend at least once a week.
Right.
In your presence.
And it's funny, you know,
So
actually,
you have an opportunity to make some significant changes.
Yeah, and I learned that by being in this career, and that's why what makes me want to expand more and go out more rather than schools or what have you. You know what I mean? I just got invited to North Carolina to speak down there, and then I'm getting invited to South Carolina to speak down there, and then just to speak to the youth and try to uplift them and build them up. Like, again, to let winning be popular. That's right. And behind the chair, we may be the only uncle or the only father they ever even know. You know what I mean? So we carry that same standard. You know what I mean? And after a while, if you just, you know, represent that and be consistent with it, then people will start knowing they respect that. I mean, nobody don't want to be running around here ignorant and doing, you know what I mean? It's just that, you know, some people that haven't been taught right, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
And we want to be hard on these young kids, but we got to pull these parents up. We got to tell somebody, look, get your kids. Because actually, that's your son, that's your nephew, and that's your little brother that you know about.
Yes, sir.
And did you know that he's not going to school? You know that he's not a job? You don't even know where he's at 3 in the morning, and you don't even care. You know, you have to be accountable and start stepping up and realize that you play a part in this. You know what I mean? Like I said, you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. And you have to understand that's your child out there.
Yeah.
That's your child that could be hurting somebody else's child. And it is all of our problems. So all of us can't look away. And I keep telling people, look, we all got to play a part in helping. I mean, just like I like to get up, or my wife like to get up in the middle of the night, or we go to Wawa. Well, that same kid could have stole a car and running lights all 3 o'clock in the morning. Now, that's nothing to do with your child, nothing, but it can affect your family if you happen to run into, heaven forbid, anybody that's in your family just happen to go to get a late night snack.
Yes, sir.
Because an uncle or a mother didn't play a part in saying, no, you don't do that, or teach them the right thing. And I just put it out there as we all a part of this. You know what I mean? So, you know, I'm sincere when it comes down to, you know, helping our young people. You know?
I have great appreciation, Derrick, for what you're sharing with the community, because it is your profession as a barber, but in listening to you, you're also offering ministry.
That's right.
Yes.
It's true ministry, and I look at myself, having been with the funeral home for 33 years now, and yes, I service the community, and comforting and bringing about healing to the families, trying to help the transition to be as smooth as possible. But God also affords me the opportunity to be able to reach out to families in other respects,
Awesome.
such as young ladies.
That's right.
And we have young people out there that are looking for the straight and the narrow. They're looking for love. They're looking for understanding. And they want encouragement
Yes.
from us as the adults.
right.
And I just thank God for being a part of Congo Funeral Home, because it affords me that ministry.
That's right.
I have a strong passion, not only for the seniors. I love my seniors. They're full of wisdom, and you learn a lot from them.
Yes.
But I also have a passion for our young people.
Yes.
They're not out there because they want to be out
Right,
there.
that's right.
They're looking to be disciplined. They're looking for guidance. They're looking for direction. So anytime that God affords me the opportunity and being able to minister to young people and reach out and encourage them, sometimes all it takes is a handshake or a hug or just a smile
That's right.
or a kind word can make a difference in somebody's life.
That's right.
And I thank God I'm not where I used to be.
That's right.
But I thank him for where I am today.
That's right.
Because he's grown me up so much in my attitude and my demeanor, and trying to make a difference and be positive. And the negative, I don't have too much tolerance for that anymore. And I was listening to you, Devon, when you talked about sharing and encouraging on Facebook. You can take Facebook as a positive or a negative. I don't get caught up in the hype of the gossip, wanting to know everybody's business. I try to encourage through the spiritual that may be on there, or just giving words of encouragement to try and make a difference in somebody's life. And it, like you said, Devon, it doesn't have to be anything big. It can be the smallest thing to make a difference in somebody's life. And we don't have to stay stuck where we are. We can pull ourselves up. But again, we got to stop being crabs in the basket.
You got that
That's
right.
it.
And my greatest
That's it.
mentor is Mr. Congo. Like I said, I've been with the business for 33 years. And I remember when Mr. Congo afforded men that were incarcerated an opportunity to make a difference in their lives. When no one else would offer them a job, when they came to Mr. Congo, he gave them a chance.
That's right.
And by him affording these young men a chance, so many of them today have risen above.
That's right.
So we have to, we have to give people a chance.
And I love what you said, that the media and stuff I put out there like things are so bad.
So bad.
Keep in mind, there are 70,000 people in Wilmington. We don't have shootings just every day and just all out crazy. But you would think that I wouldn't even walk through Wilmington,
Right.
and they put this
Right.
stigma on Wilmington. Like I have a business in Wilmington. I always worked in Wilmington, and right now my business is in Little Italy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then I was in the hood, where you want to call it the hood. I keep on. I was in the hood. You know what I mean? And the people respect me. What I'm trying to say is, it's not as bad as everybody thinks. And it's always terrible if somebody lose their life and they lose their child.
sir.
It's so sad. I know y'all see it firsthand. You know what I mean? But again, there's 70,000 people in Wilmington. We can help with this little bit of problem if we want to. You know what I mean? Instead of just trying to control it, we need to make some solutions and try to stop it. You know what I mean?
And
Much
that
as possible.
small piece is us on us, and that's what
There you
disturbs
go.
me. That we can't point to anybody else and
Yes.
say, and I understand the Trayvon Martin case. We were frustrated because of what happened. They didn't bring charges, but the reality is we have some of those same situations in the city every day.
Yes,
and it's
sir.
black on black, and we don't express that same amount of outrage. And that's kind of what frustrated me, because this is something that we should really be focused on. How do we reach out to our kids?
Right.
And even though you brought up the part about the pants being down,
Yes,
because
sir.
personally, I have a different outlook. As long as it's not inappropriate and you're not exposing yourself, if that's their style, if that's their swag, I don't really have a problem with it. I mean, if that's the way they choose to express themselves, I don't think they're defined by what they wear. Now, I do it sometimes because I know how people perceive you based on the way that you're dressed. But if a young person wants to express themselves by sagging their pants down and you can't see their boxers, I don't really have a problem with it.
I
But
was saying you could
appreciate-
see like
but,
his
but,
boxes.
but my point was,
yeah.
I appreciate
Yeah.
that he even said something, because I've been in barbershops where somebody had their pants down or they were doing something inappropriate and they waited till they left and they talked about the young boy.
Come on
And I'm saying
now.
the young man,
Yeah.
you gotta understand, people are doing things because they were raised in a culture and they developed a mindset that was further than what you're saying right there. That might have been years worth of dysfunction or whatever that caused him to act that way. So just letting him leave and then talking about him isn't going to help reprogram him.
Right.
It's like you said, you got to begin to educate and start to tell him, don't pull your pants up, man, that's inappropriate. Now, he may pull them down when he leaves the shop.
Right.
But then if somebody else that's an adult that says, yo, that's inappropriate, you never get a job like that. As he starts hearing it,
Right.
it's going to start encouraging him to do something different.
But we have to be mindful, though. It's not what we say, it's
It's
how we say
I
it.
believe that too.
Our wording, we can either draw people or we can drive them away. And we hurt a lot of people sometimes by the way we
Do things, right.
do things, whether it's
Yeah.
through wording, our attitude, or our actions.
Tongue is very powerful.
Yes, it is.
Derrick, what was you going to say about the DC thing? Why don't you share that?
Well, yeah, the DC. First, shout out to everybody that's participated in the 50th anniversary of the Martin Luther King DC
Yes, sir.
thing.
Yes,
You know,
sir.
which is an awesome thing. You know, and I was just telling him that people don't realize that when Martin Luther King made that speech, he was like 33 years old. You know, and when he was marching the streets when he was 20s, 24. And you kind of look at our kids nowadays, what they doing at 20, 24. You know what I mean? It's just a little different now, you know, but they was about that fight of trying to make a difference. And, you know what I mean? And I love it. I just wanted to get to the point where we can stop saying, well, we come a long way, which we did.
Yes, sir.
And you know what I mean? And we're not there yet. And I'm to the point, I'm not trying to speed along, but when are we going to get there? You know what I mean? Because now we have some intelligent people, and we have some people with money. You know what I mean? And I'm going to be honest, there's a lot of rappers out here that makes money, like crazy money. And this is me personally. I mean, and not to put Jay-Z out there, I know people like him make millions of dollars, his wife make $1 million, and they say they came from Marcy Project. The problem I have with that is something still called the Marcy Project.
Right.
And I'm just telling you, if I had $500,000 or $1 million, there's no more Riverside Project.
Right.
There's nothing called Riverside Project. It's called Riverside Townhomes. It's called Riverside something. But you know, that's something that we have to think about. Now it's his
As a
prerogative.
people, that's
it's
partly-
his
That's
prerogative.
really good point.
It's his
We gotta
learn to get
prerogative.
back.
Why is
we
this song
un-
still called the Marcy Project?
Right, and I agree that there was a number of things that got us to where we are today. I don't believe that we positioned ourselves like this.
Yes, sir.
But the reality is that we've proven the ability to get out of where we are.
That's right.
Yeah.
So that means we got to reach back and be able to help
And
everybody else.
that's our
behind us.
problem.
And that's where we
that's where
so
go.
many times go wrong.
Yeah.
You know, God blesses us to excel to here,
And we stay, and we.
and we're here, and we don't even want to look back here.
Yeah.
But if we keep our hands like this, how can God bless?
That's right.
When you begin to do this and give back and help others, that's when the blessings
Start to flow.
start to flow.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
become so selfish. You know, well, I got it going on. You know, I got this. I got the fine house. I got the cars. I got this awesome job.
Or we move out and put a fence around.
There you
and
go.
We can't see anything that goes
And
on.
can't see
Yeah.
past that to help
You know what I'm saying?
anybody else.
Yeah.
So that's some of the things that frustrates me. But that's why, like personally, I've been getting a lot of calls from a lot of younger African American males who want to get together and do something.
Wow.
And nobody really knows what they want to do, but the point is, we do want to do something. We want to change our community
Yes.
for the better. Because it frustrates me. I have a diversity of friends on my Facebook, and sometimes they'll just post something. Every time since the Trayvon Martin, they'll post something about black kids did this, black kids did this to a white person, black kids did this to a white person. And that kind of stuff, that kind of frustrates me. Because to some extent, like Derrick was saying, the parents know exactly what their kids are doing.
Yeah.
We can control it to some extent. I mean, I can go through my neighborhood and I know which ones are doing what. And the parents know which ones are doing what. And at some point, we got to stand up and start to say, no longer is wrong right in this community. Right is right. And we need to start promoting that and start producing kids that believe that. Because, sometimes in our community, because it's such a small group of people, they create their own little subculture. And it's difficult to really touch that subculture unless we have people like myself, like Derrick, like a lot of these brothers that are coming out forward now to be able to go back and talk to that population. And I really think they could change them.
I agree with you wholeheartedly in that, Devon, but I think a lot of the problem today, people are afraid to get involved.
I agree.
I know when I was coming up, that saying, it takes a village to raise a child, it was true back then. You know, I came up in an area, I was raised in Little Italy. If my mother was away from home, she didn't have to worry about my sisters and I, because the neighbors back then had an open eye. They were allowed to discipline us. They were allowed to encourage us. You know what I'm saying? And if they went and shared with my mother that my sisters and I did anything wrong, my mother didn't go through a temper tantrum and not my daughter, not my daughter. That was an adult to an adult.
Right.
And my mother dealt with us. Now, if we tried to get to my mother before the adult and called the adult a liar, that was a double whammy for us. So
Yeah.
we have to begin to let down the fear and become more involved with the young people in our community. It's time for us to take our village back, just as you said, Devon.
Well, the good thing is that the people that are coming now, you know, people like Wolfie, like Derrick, like myself, Stephen Cologne, Trav Bauer, Blacktop. These people are people who came from the streets, and they're trusted by the family members, most of them. I think the biggest thing is that we got to figure out how to come together and build that mechanism that people in power to have the resources can use us and utilize people to go out in the communities and start to do some social change. I really think that's really what it's going to be about. Bringing people in that know about business, how business runs, what you have to do, how much dedication is needed, how much resources are needed. You know, that kind of stuff is going to be important. So I think that these conversations like these are the beginning of changing that small portion of the population that really needs to be changed, because we can't just leave them there.
Question
Okay.
to the both of you. How do you think that we can, as a people, begin to develop the mentality of reaching back and pulling one another up and feeling good about who we are, as opposed to always wanting to be so quick to raise our feet and stomp down and keep them down?
And I have a question too. Once you answer that,
I believe that that's probably going to come from trusting that, like you talked about the Bible, you know, one man plant the seed, another man water, God gives the increase. I think that at some point we become so focused on, when I plant the seed, I got to see something sprout up right then, or I give up on you. It may come through a series of conversations, and guess what? I may never get recognition of your change. You may not ever say, Mr. Hynson's the one who changed me. And we got to be okay with that. And I think that's part of the problem. We try to control the change, and then we want to be acknowledged for the change that comes. And the moment we separate from that and realize that we're just doing this to help our folk, whether they recognize you or not. Some of the people that I help the most support me the least, and I understand that's the dynamic of it. And guess what? Inside, you think about it, and it does hurt. But at the end of the day, you know that you're helping. And that's really why you have to do it. You just got to know that it's not up to you to make the change, just plant the seed and keep planting the seed. That's it.
Yeah, well, me, most of the time I deal with people coming, like I said, growing up in the type of area, I can relate to the struggle, you know what I mean? And I'm talking about, there's some struggles out there that people, they can say they can deal with, you know what I mean? But when you're in that situation, and I'm talking about, it could be a situation where we have a heat wave and no air in your house and the jug of water in the refrigerator and your mom on drugs and your dad's not there, what do I do? You know what I mean?
Right.
You know, that type of stuff. And I mean, we're going to have to put people in the community. I don't know if we can. It's going to take money too. So we're going to take some money.
We're going to need some money, yo.
It's going to be some money. And people going to have to release that money so they can have like tutoring programs, because you got to catch these kids now while they're young.
Yes, you
and
do.
a lot of times, not saying they too far gone and can't be reached back, but it's just a little more difficult when they get older. But we got to touch these kids when they're young. We got to reach these parents. My thing is with the parents. You know what I mean? I mean, I have brothers that are principals, and I asked them what's the problem at their school, and they said, man, it's the parents.
Right.
You know what I mean? They say parents first. And usually they say something about the kids, but they said he's dealing with these parents. One parent, he called, had to tell her about her son, and she said, listen, I don't call you when he with me, don't call me when you with you. I never heard that in my life. You know what I mean? But we have to reach these parents and really start putting like little tutor programs or anything in these communities. You know what I mean, to help build it up, build these
Derrick,
kids.
it is real.
It's real.
I worked in the school system dealing with the special education children for almost 10 years. And nothing hurt me more than to be in a placement meeting in regards to these children, and a parent would come in and say, I throw up my hands, there's nothing I can do with him, there's nothing I can do with her. He or she is with you more than they're with me. They're with you 8.5 hours a day, 7 hours, and you make the decision. But this is your child.
Yeah.
It starts at home. And we would oftentimes tell them, we're the educator, we're not the parents.
Right.
It starts at home.
Starts at home.
Some of these children would leave home. The parents wouldn't even know if they washed their face, they brushed their teeth, if they took a shower. Some of these children wouldn't even have breakfast in the morning.
Wow.
The children are pretty much raising themselves.
And see, those are things, and I will say this, because I'm two-sided on that. I agree that the parenting is short, but what I find when I go in the school system is a lot of times they don't have the people in place that can really identify with the students.
And I agree.
So I'm not saying that the
agree.
parents are doing what they're supposed to do, but there's also identification issue. If they can't identify with who's standing up there,
That's right.
and they don't respect that person, even though they should, it makes it difficult for them to tutor them. So.
well, just in 2 words, real quick, so we can wrap this up.
That's right.
Because the man that's paying the bills is here. But in 2 words, if you don't mind, brother, since you all were products of the inner city, if you can look in that camera and tell an individual that's watching, a mother, grandmother, or even a son right now that's watching, in 2 words, how did you get out of your predicament? How did you change your circumstances in 2 words?
I don't know if I can say it 2 words, maybe in a
Try.
statement. I wanted to win.
Okay.
I wanted to win. I saw what struggle is, and then I saw people that made it. You know what I mean? I saw them that made it. It made me thought it is possible. Because there's a Will Smith out there. You know, there's a Tyler Perry out there. Right. You know, so it is possible. So I wanted to win. So, you know, you got to have that winning spirit. You have a willingness to win.
And I'd say God, a supportive family, and like he said, a willingness to win.
Okay. Well, Devon and Derrick, I truly appreciate you for coming on.
Thank you for having
And we're going to have you come back.
Yes, sir.
This was a very, very,
Yes.
very awesome dialogue.
Yeah. Awesome.
And anything that I can do to continue to encourage you and help you along, I'm here for you.
All right.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Do not turn that dial. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with Sammy's Corner. Good evening and welcome back to the Congo Hour. We are now about to take on the favorite part of our show, and that is Sammy's Corner. Welcome, Mr. C.
Thank you for this being your favorite. You know, I've been on this thing for a long time, but I've never been more excited than tonight. I've got a favorite friend here that we used to shop in the mornings, and every morning around 6:30, I would run into her at the Pathmark. I didn't realize how old she was because she was kicking higher than I was.
She looks wonderful.
And we are going to help her to celebrate her 99th
God bless
birthday.
her.
And she's fully alert, still gets around, keeps her children in line, and they all are all excited about it. So I'm excited about the public out there sharing this wonderful occasion of her 99th birthday today. So I heard, well, I had already scheduled somebody for this time, but when Bernice came to me, I put that aside because I had to celebrate this birthday with the family.
That's an honor.
And so we're going to let you folks out there in TV land share and hear from this lovely lady from West Virginia.
She looks beautiful.
And I'm going to let Bernice come and introduce her mother. And Bernice, tell us all about this wonderful lady that you're all excited about too.
I am proud to tell you about this wonderful lady that I'm excited about. This is my mommy, Ruby Ryle, 99 years old today. I'm actually going to let her do the talking, but I just want to tell you about a whole row of offspring that she's got. Almost 250, 12 children, 45 grandchildren, 75 great-great-grandchildren, and as of February 20th, 2013, a 6th generation
God bless her.
great-great-great-grandson. And this is my mother, and I'm going to just let her say hello to you all. We are honored. Tell them what you did yesterday, Mommy, in Washington, D.C.
Oh, well, we went to Martin Monument,
Martin Luther King.
Martin Luther King's monument. And it was just like a whirlwind. I was just going round and around. I said, they act like I was young as they were. But I enjoyed all of it.
And she's been partying all weekend. Last week, the Wilmington City Council, under the Honorable Hanifa Shabazz and Mike Brown, they gave her an honor resolution. And our wonderful Mayor Dennis P. Williams issued her a tribute that was read in church today. So she's been celebrating all weekend. And today she had a barbecue at one of her granddaughters' houses with over 200 family
Oh
members
my
there.
goodness.
So we all sported our shirts, and this is our mother. So you want to talk about anything else, Mommy? Because we want to let Mr. Sammy know how grateful that we are here.
I would like to see if you can zoom in on that shirt and look at that beautiful smile
very
on there.
nice.
It is just
Let him
special.
look at your shirt, Mommy. Which one is looking?
That is
There we
very
are.
nice.
Isn't
That's
that a
it.
great smile?
99th year. She has 6 generations alive on this earth.
You know, at one time, my grandmother had 6 generations, and we were so proud of that.
Yes.
It was my grandmother, my mother was living at that time, and then my sister Billy, you remember Billy?
Yes.
And then her daughter, Ardella. Then Ardella had Danessa, and then Danessa had the little baby. So
Absolutely.
that was 6. And did you go to the News Journal? Because they should have.
They were going to get back to me, but I was waiting to hear from her. So maybe on her 100th birthday.
You ought to do that
We're
right
going to do
now.
quite a bash, and I'm going to contact her and let her know that.
But
we
you
are
should
gonna do
celebrate
something.
the 6 right now.
We
the 6
should.
generations
Yeah.
while you can, and you always have that in record that you
Absolutely.
had 6 generations in your family.
Wish we'd have thought about that. We could have done that today.
Yep,
Made a big highlight of it today.
that's right. That is
Yeah.
so right.
She birthed 11 children, adopted one to make a complete dozen. And in her 11, there were 3 sets of twins.
Okay.
I'm one of the twins.
And I know
We're
all
very
of
proud.
them.
You know all of us. You're not
They are my neighbors.
Yeah, you know our family. You've taken care of her mother,
Yep,
her father,
yep.
nieces, nephews, uncles, cousins, but you're not getting her, Sammy.
That's sad.
Yeah, and her
Not in
aunt.
this way. She's
and
gonna get
uncle.
me. She's gonna get me. I would like before we leave. Could you read the county exec Tom Gordon also has a tribute for Mrs. Ryle. So Dina's going to read it to us.
I'd love to. It's an honor.
Yeah.
Tribute, Office of the County Executive of Newcastle County. Be hereby known to all that the Honorable Thomas P. Gordon, Newcastle County Executive, is pleased to present this tribute to honor a special lady, Mrs. Ruby May Ryle. County Executive Gordon is pleased to join in celebrating with Ruby May Ryle on her 99th birthday. Ruby May was born on September the 1st, 1914 in Warrior, Alabama, to Frank and Evelyn Davis. That was the year that Henry Ford introduced the assembly line for the T Fords. The first steamboat passed through the Panama Canal. The first stone of the Lincoln Memorial was put into place. Babe Ruth's first professional game as a pitcher, which was a 6-0 win. The first blood transfusion was performed in Brussels, and the U.S. Congress establishes Mother's Day. Mrs. Ryle moved to Wilmington, Delaware in 1966 to be near her family. She is an active church member of Alpha Baptist Church, serving in many capacities. She has served as a member of West Central City Senior Citizen Center for many years. She is a loving, caring, and giving mother, grandmother, great-grandmother, great-great-grandmother, and friend to all. County Executive Gordon congratulates Mrs. Ruby May Ryle on her 99th birthday. Thanks for her service to Newcastle County and wishes for the best. Happy 99th birthday. Presented on this first day of September 2013 by order of the County Executive, Thomas P. Gordon, Newcastle County Executive.
Thank you.
And we
Thank you.
present this to you, Mrs. Ryle.
Thank you.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
And Sammy and the rest of the Congo Hour, we truly thank you for again adding another tribute to our mommy.
I want you to know it's more of a tribute
And thank you
to
all
us
very
than
much.
for you. It's just so exciting. You know, my grandmother lived to be 96, and we wanted her to be 100, but and we know that you're going to be about 150, and so on your 150th birthday.
I won't be around.
So it's really been a great opportunity and a great pleasure to be a part of the family, and I really feel part of the family, as you know.
Okay.
And we look forward to next year to be here and to celebrate that 100th, and we're going to have a real
Same.
blowout.
Same time.
Okay. Anything else you want to say?
No, I'm
Nothing.
just
Nothing
thankful
else.
for
Bernice,
the-
you want to?
I just want to thank God for giving us this wonderful matriarch, and to have her healthy and in control of her faculties. And we just want to say God bless and continually bless her for her
Great.
love. We had all the children today, as many of them as I could get to, tell why they love her. And when she sit and look at almost 2 hours of video, she's going to laugh, she's going to be happy, she's going to be sad. But it's been a great day, great weekend for her.
You're so right.
It's wonderful.
And tonight was supposed to be my weigh-in, but Trippy couldn't make it tonight. So I guess next week it'll give me a better chance to lose a couple pounds. And I've been on my diet, so for all of you who are waiting by your phone to get that $50, you might as well just flip the channel, take your hand off the phone, because you ain't winning nothing. Yeah. Okay, thanks again for tuning in and watching Sammy's Corner. We want to break, and then we'll be back with our funeral notices and our other notices that will be read. Thank you, and I'll see you next week.
Good evening, and this time we will have our funeral announcements. Miss Sharon Colger Ross, age 54, departed this life August 23rd, 2013. Her funeral services were held Saturday, August 31st, 2013 at the Congo Funeral Home, 24th and Market. Her burial will be announced at a later date. Mr. Alton Benson, age 56, departed this life August 26, 2013. His funeral services were held Saturday, August 31st, 2013 at the Congo Funeral Home, 201 North Gray Avenue, and his burial was private. Miss Bertha Louise Robinson, age 70, departed this life August 28th, 2013. Her services will be held Thursday, September 5th, with a viewing from 10 to 12 p.m. at Congo Funeral Home, 201 North Gray Avenue, followed by a memorial service that will be held 1:30 p.m. at the Kingdom Hall Jehovah's Witness at 149 Landers Lane in Newcastle, Delaware. Now to our birthday announcements. Miss Ruby Ray Ryle, age 99. I believe that was the young lady that was on.
Yes.
Oh, okay. 99 years old and 6 generations younger.
That is such a blessing.
Miss Marilyn J. Monk, my mother, age 36. No, just kidding. Age 66. Her, it's a belated birthday. Our birthday was August 22nd. And I also want to say congratulations to Cousin Johnny and Diane on their engagement.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, you said she's your mother, but she's also my spiritual mother, so you know we have to share.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
And you have something you want to say.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I want to send a special birthday shout out to the love of my life, my fiance Ernest. He's had a birthday celebration this weekend. I love you, sweetheart. And we will now have our community announcements.
Yes.
The first announcement we have is a women's revival, which will be held at New Galilee Baptist Church, featuring the Reverend Paulette Brown of the Canaan Baptist Church on Wednesday, September the 4th, starting at 7:00 p.m. Thursday night, Bishop Marion Rudd of Redeeming Grace Ministries will be the preacher, And on Friday night, the Reverend Dolores Loper of Kennett Square, Pennsylvania, will be the preacher with her congregation.
Sounds like that's going to be a good old time.
Awesome, because
Yes.
those are some powerful sisters in the
Yes.
Lord right there. AIDS Walk of Delaware will be held September the 28th, 2013 at the Wilmington Riverfront and also at the Rehoboth Beach Grove Park. Check-in will be at 9 a.m. and the walk will begin at 10 a.m. Register 302-652-6776, 1 day with 2 walks. Registration is free. Next, I have Dr. Frederick Allen Ministries. Join us for Sunday service at the Moving Rock Church. Beginning September the 15th, services will be held on Sunday at 8 o'clock a.m. at Saving Grace Building, located at 109 West Main Street in Middletown, Delaware. Church service. Hear the True Word of God, a ministry committed to strengthening families and communities. Special assistance for our seniors. Need a ride? Please contact 302-538-1830. And again, this is church services that will be held at the Moving Rock Church, 109 West Main Street in the city of Middletown, Delaware at the Saving Grace Building. Crab Feast 2013, sponsored by the officers and members of the St. David's Lodge, 1511 North Claymont Street in the city of Wilmington, Delaware. Contact phone number is 302-654-4144. The date 2013. Time is from 2 to 7 p.m. For $35, you get 2 dozen of crabs, 2 ears of corn on the cob, unlimited potatoes, and 2 free drinks. If you don't eat crabs and still want to participate, we have fried fish with potatoes, corn on the cob, and a drink for $8. Or fried chicken, potatoes, and corn on the cob for $7.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
To get tickets, please call the office and leave a message. Table reservation is available. To reserve a table, a $10 deposit is required. Again, the contact phone number is 302-654-4144. Pardon me. That sounds real good, Aaron. Community Day event, sponsored by Phoenix Lodge number 3, Mary A. Comstock, Chapter number 5, Order of the Eastern Star, working under the Perfect Grand Lodge, St. David, AF and AM. Mary A. Comstock, Grand Chapter, Order of the Eastern Star. Please come out and join us for our annual Community Day event from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. We will be giving out school supplies, hot dogs, and beverages to all school-age children in attendance. We ask that all children please be accompanied by an adult. 1511 North Claymont Street in the city of Wilmington, Delaware, 19802. Contact phone number is 302-654-4144. Baynard Apartments Breakfast Fundraiser, 309 West 18th Street, Saturday, September the 7th, 2013, 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. The menu is sausage or bacon, scrambled eggs, fried potatoes or grits, toast, coffee, and orange juice. The cost is $6. Sponsored by the Baynard Resident Council. Contact phone number is 302-652-8887.
Oh, that's our number.
That's our number.
I wonder if I'm getting me a free plate. We'll find out.
Sounds good, though. Last but not least, Youth Interlock Society's 15th Annual Midnight Madness held at the Chester High School, 200 West 9th Street, Chester, Pennsylvania, September the 7th, 2013. Free SAT strategy session held at Chester High School. SAT session will be conducted by Mr. Sam Alfonso of College Bound. To the first 100 students. The time is from 8 a.m. to 12 noon. From 10 a.m. to 11 p.m., 15 games featuring some of the boys and girls from Virginia to New York. All participants will receive full uniforms for free, and top high school All-American All-Star game players will also receive sneakers. The admission price for Saturday's game is $10. Tickets will be available at the door. These events are sponsored once again by the Youth Interlock Society. Dr. Earl P. Sorrell, Jr. is the chairperson. Contact phone number is 267-784-4016. Or Mr. Darren T. Pearsall, who is the vice chairperson, 302-358-8161. And as this concludes the Congo Hour, we truly want to say to our community, thank you so much for affording us the opportunity to service you and your families. We truly count it an honor and a privilege that you entrust your loved ones in our care. We are a staff that prays together. We're continually keeping you in our prayers, and we pray that this week will be the best week of your life. We look forward to seeing you next week. God bless you.